the Jets Life podcast. Just wanted to get on today to just talk about a couple of things that, especially from over the weekend. There was a few practices on Saturday and Sunday. Some news to come out of those practices. I just want to keep everyone up to date with. But most importantly, something I want to make sure we definitely got on the show is that the Jets just released a video this morning that the legacy jerseys worn back in the '80s by the New York Stock Exchange are now going to be used this season, weeks 1 and weeks 4, with the logo also being used at midfield and in the end zones for the game against the Bills, and then week 4 in the game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is a move that I think we've been waiting for a long time. Personally, this was one of my favorite logos. I never really got to experience what the logo looked like being a Jet fan. Awesome for them to kind of hear the fans outcries to get these uniforms back into the cycle and into the rotation. Maybe it's something that they look into if there's enough people buying these jerseys, which just based on everything, just the everything from Twitter today and everything here with fan reaction to this, it sounds like these things are going to fly off the shelves. So if you haven't already, definitely get into the NFL shop and get and purchase these things because they're going to go really, really, really quickly. So again, awesome for the Jets to listen to the fans on this one, bring that logo back, bring back those uniforms, and hopefully, like I said, it's something that maybe instead of just being a temporary couple of games a year thing, they can roll out uh, not only just these uniforms but more colors and different variations. Maybe they even bring back those Kelly green jerseys. It's all just a stepping stone, one thing at a time, to get these jerseys back into the cycle. But awesome job by Woody Johnson and and ownership and getting these jerseys back. Let's talk a little bit about the practices from Saturday and Sunday. So, as I mentioned in the last podcast, the defense seemed to have a step ahead on the offense, which I wasn't overly concerned about when the offense at the start of training camp. Uh, okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, so offense seemed to turn a corner over the weekend. So Rodgers, definitely seemed to get things cleaned up. That's kind of what you're expecting. It's a brand new offense. Wasn't really expecting this to linger too long, especially with Rodgers. He's not gonna settle for this offense to struggle day in and day out. Definitely hit the film room, got things cleaned up, and you can tell everything's been a lot better. Garrett Wilson, I mean, there was a video that surfaced that's gone viral a little bit. Him kind of contorting his body midair. I mean, from my perspective, if I was watching that live, it would look like his whole entire body was going out of bounds. But he did some next level stuff where it just seemed like his body slowed down midair, and he was able to rotate and last second get his feet in bounds. Just I was high on Garrett Wilson. Going into the draft last year, he was one of my favorite targets. The guy I really wanted the Jets to get, especially after the Jameson Williams injury. Garrett Wilson was my number one wide receiver, and and that was just based off of his college tape, Ohio State, how dominant he was, and to see all that skill and all that talent transpire into the NFL as a rookie, receiving for over 1,100 yards with minimal quarterback play. This is of training camp that he's turning the corner and just really kind of building on what he was as a rookie. And it's you know it seems like a lot, especially being a Jeff fan, we haven't seen offensive skill players of this magnitude. But for what he did as a rookie, I wouldn't be shocked if this guy kind of climbs that tier for next level wide receiver. Maybe challenging for a 13 to 1500-yard receiving season isn't entirely out of the question, considering what he did as a rookie with minimal quarterback play. But yeah, it's awesome to see all these skill players kind of getting a little more action. McCole Hardman seems to be popping up a lot. Here's a guy that kind of flew under the radar with all we signed Lazard, and I think we signed McCole Hardman shortly thereafter. And this isn't just a fill the roster type of move at all. McCole Hardman is a speedster, and you know had great quarterback play in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, but he's coming here into a receiving room that has Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, who's very comfortable with Aaron Rodgers, and then McCole Hardman. I mean, he's going to open things up because defenses are going to need to watch out for this guy. Similar to how they, you know, how we watch out for Tyreek is definitely going to be a problem. It should open things up. Could be for this team. Just another skilled player that has been really kind of you've been seeing him all around, and I mean, to see him kind of making plays in training camp, um, especially you know after Denzel Mims was he knows that contribute on all facets of that. So I'm not too familiar with him from a special team standpoint. I don't know if he's played special team in college. I'll definitely have to look into that and get back on that. But if he has special teams experience and can play as a gunner that or just on other facets of special teams, it could definitely help him in his search to try and get that wide receiver six roster spot and make that 53-man roster. So just awesome to see this offense has turned that corner. Glad this isn't a storyline. Obviously, with Hard Knocks there, every single bit of storyline that they can kind of grab onto would be something that they'd strive for, and this isn't something they gotta worry about. This offense is catching up to the defense, and this defense was a top 5 unit, so this offense can catch up and keep that going, and this defense can learn from what Aaron Rodgers is. Things can only kind of a little tangent with the offense. Um, One of those guys being Tony Adams. Here's a guy, another undrafted guy that came from last year, and I'm sorry, this feel like I'm blacking out. Hopefully, this doesn't uh, impact the recording over. He seems to be a guy that just has a knack for finding the ball. There was a deep pass in one of the practices to McCole Hardman. This video was on the Jets website. Um, Kind of sprawled out, up in the air, got his fingertips on the ball. It was intended for McCole Hardman, broken away. And a nice pass breakup. Going into the offseason, free safety was a position I really wanted the Jets to kind of address just because of the inexperience. Um, and I think that you can definitely argue free safety and linebacker were probably the weaker positions on the team. So it's very promising to see Tony Adams is out there making plays as a free safety. Is this something that he can build off from his rookie year as an undrafted guy and be our free safety? I mean, like I said, he filled in and played a decent role. Like to see him take a step forward, um, and it's very promising to see him kind of out there making plays. Another guy that and he had a press conference last week that has been kind of you've been hearing his name a little bit is Al Woods. When the Jets signed him as a defensive tackle, kind of thought he would be like our run stuffing guy, especially because it was shortly after we got Quentin Jefferson from Seattle as well. Kind of thought this was a move. Like you got the guy who has pass rushing stats, and now get a guy who can stuff the run, which is kind of what we needed. Just a guy coming on second and third down to sit next to Q, and a guy that can come in on early downs and be a run stuffer. But it sounds like just from different avenues, one from Salah, and then two from Al Woods himself. It doesn't sound like they just got this guy to be a run stuffer. Now I do think that will be his primary role, but he sounds like he's excited to have a different role with a new team, to go out there and just attack, which isn't something that he's done in the past, playing in a 3-4. It was kind of a, you know, kind of a block eater, kind of role with the past couple of years, but he's kind of embraced the opportunity that this defense awards him to just, kind of shoot the gap and make plays. So I'm really excited. I mean, this is kind of a different type of player than anybody else on the offensive line. He's a big build guy. Um, Kind of reminds me size wise of what Chris Jenkins was back in 2007, 2008 for us. Um, Obviously, Chris Jenkins ended up having a good couple years with us. Injuries kind of slowed him down, but Al Woods kind of comes off as that kind of build. Obviously, we play a 3-4 back then. Now we're in a 4-3. But I just wonder if this is something that we can kind of see a little bit of a different player in Salah's type of defense. And I can't really think of anybody in San Fran with Salah that matches kind of Al Woods, you know, figure and his physique. But this will be kind of a interesting little thing. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the season, so once training camp rolls through and we kinda get a little more familiarity with what each of these players is gonna be, it'll make a little more sense down the road. Just a different type of player and seeing what he can do. I guess we'll get a little bit of a look from some of the starters in the Hall of Fame game. Usually, it just goes straight to the backups, so probably wouldn't get to see him until our first preseason game. But just maybe get a little glimpse of what this guy can be because he was good with Seattle. Um, you know, Jets did a good job bringing in a couple of guys in the interior defensive line to losses to Foley last year. Kind of never filled in that run stuffer guy. But this guy comes in and with a little bit of a pedigree, a little bit of a you know history to himself and a history to his name. Could be a good locker room guy, but definitely somebody that keep an eye on and see what his role really turns out to be. If you haven't already, please just like and subscribe to the channel. Gonna try and give up at least a couple of weeks some content for you guys. Um, Love the atmosphere from training camp the other day, when Aaron Rodgers came out of the tunnel. There was a lot of videos that surfaced through social media, and you guys were just pumping it out. Anybody who was there, that atmosphere must have been absolutely awesome. And if that's the way we're showing up to just a practice in July, I cannot wait to what week one's going to look like, and as we get deeper and deeper into the season. So keep showing up, Jet fans. This is an exciting season. Let's keep this positivity going. Let's keep the energy going, and the players are going to feed off that even during these little training camp things, the lights are on, and they're going to be on for the entire season. So the more the more action we give them, the more positive vibes we give them, and just keep feeding into it. They're listening. They try and block out the outside noise, and they do a good job of it. You can tell by these press conferences that it seems like they're doing the best they can to keep that noise out. But they're listening, and as long as we are louder than all the naysayers and all the haters, just keep filling them with positivity because it's gonna come a point where this team's gonna really start winning games during the season, gonna stack them some wins, and as we get deeper into the season, this team starts to believe it, and we keep streaming that positivity. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So keep showing out. This train These practices have been awesome to see from you guys. Keep send out these videos. It's awesome to see guys, from our fans' perspective, what these guys are doing, making plays. Love to see it. And go Jets.